Hello. Hello. I'm on my I'm streaming. All I had to do was press a button. And now I'm streaming. Hey Scott, Viper man. Yeah, I was ready. I was ready. I was ready to hit the button. I already had everything set up. Better camera quality right now, so it's all good. Colin, good to see you, Warrior. I don't want to stop, man. I don't have any other social life besides doing this. Hey, you sick sucker. How you doing in Slava? Zach, were you over there for the friggin' amazing Roberto Blake stuff? Because he was throwing out some truth. Yeah, so far the evening is going well. I watched a little bit of a movie with my family and got to hang out over on the recycle bin, and now I'm here with you guys doing this thing. It's all good. Oh man, recycle bin. I don't mean to make you feel bad, Zach, but the recycle bin post show was kind of epic. It just ended. I'm so I don't mean to make you feel bad, but you know, Tech Free Needs, how you doing, man? Andrew, good to see you over here. You've had a few beverages. Well, I mean, if you're thirsty, you got to drink, right? That's what they tell me. So what are we talking about over here? Now that I'm over here, thanks to GamerMan90. Thank you. Just finished watching wrestling, like Greco-Roman wrestling or WWE wrestling. Hey Igor, Paul, good to see you. Hey guy, how you doing, man? Talk about women. I don't know, man. WWE. I used to watch wrestling a lot when I was a kid. Um, I don't watch it these days, but yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Um, why does everybody always ask if they can trust me? I mean, of course, of course. I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet. I really want to see it. Um, but I just haven't made it to the theater yet. Orange soda and ginger ale. Wow, man. Better be careful mixing those. You were watching Bob the Builder, Warrior? Isn't that a children's show? No, Mr. NYC, it's so strange to me. Like when I make the Can You Trust videos, there are so many people who ask that exact question. Um, and I can't answer that. Yeah, I'm gonna see Deadpool. And Moses, yeah, if I'm around and I'm watching Recycle Bin and just kind of hanging out, then I'll jump on and do this. Um, because it's not my bedtime yet. Well, okay, so if the headphones work for you, I mean, if I recommend headphones and they're better than what you expected, I guess that speaks well for me. Yeah, it was like it was 90 something here in Iowa City too. It's just been really nasty. Yeah, it's I didn't go outside. I did go outside, but just to my car and then into another air conditioned building and then back to my car and into my home. Yeah, a lot of the FTP I just did it. FPT people have come over. Much appreciated. Good to see everyone. You're in Minnesota, Scott. Which part of the Minnesota? Oh man, I miss good weather. I lived in New York City for 11 years, and when the weather was good, it was a glorious thing. When the weather was not good. It was a terrible thing. Um, I've never tried the Audio Technica M70Xs. I kind of want to, but I haven't tried them yet. Uh, I haven't done a Can You Trust Ajit Pai video because I think the answer is fairly obvious. Um, yeah, but Guy, is it true that like down in the heat down in Texas is a different kind of heat than up north, farther north? I always feel like maybe the Texas heat is a little less humid. The humidity is what really is terrible. Best high tech bedroom setup video. Um, yeah, I've made it. Right now, I'm in my basement, so it's like really creepy. Yeah, that's what I thought, Eric. That's what I thought. Can we trust Samsung? Um, I I have things to say about Samsung, and as I was discussing over on the FPT recycle bin post show, I've still haven't figured out like exactly how to do my my company like sort of business entity videos. Um, but I'm working on it. Paul, I notice you, if that's what you're asking. Now, the one thing I'll say about Samsung, and if you've heard me talk about this before, sorry, but Samsung, one thing that people maybe don't know about me is that I taught a class called Foundations of Business for a few years after I graduated from graduate school, and that class was about ethics, writing, public presentation, and Samsung, when the Note 7 started exploding, Samsung did everything right to save their brand. Um, if you guys are well, most of you probably aren't old enough, but back in the early 80s, I think it was 1982 in the Chicagoland area, some Tylenol got laced with cyanide, and I think about 5 people died. And the parent company, which I think was Procter and Gamble, uh, pulled all Tylenol off all the shelves throughout the country and figured out new safety measures and all that kind of stuff. And that's pretty much why you can buy Tylenol now. Um, because if they would have just said, "Oh, it's only like," see, this is like Samsung versus Apple. Apple doesn't address problems, or they just get snotty about it. Samsung recognized the seriousness of the Note 7 problem, and they treated their customers right. And for that, I give them credit. You think Samsung was set up on the Note 7 by Apple? Yes. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I think that both companies push each other to a certain extent. Um, but I think Samsung tried to get a bigger battery in a smaller form factor and didn't quite do it. Uh, iPhone 10 or Note 8. Well, honestly, like I'm back to the Note 8 now. I realize that I seem completely like bipolar with this stuff. But, but I I really like I gave my Pixel 2 XL to my wife, and I missed having an Android phone, so I got another Note 8. Paul, I'm using OBS to stream, and my camera setup is Panasonic Lumix G7 running through an Elgato Cam Link um, into my computer. So it's like a 4K. It's not putting out 4K, but it's a really good camera. Instead of like the, I was using my C922 when I was on the stream with John and Roberto because I had no way of changing from one camera to the other. But yeah, this is a really great setup. I like it a lot. Apple could have set them up. You're right. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. What is keeping HTC in the game? Uh, not, not much. I guess Google owns them now, so they're going to be they're gonna be making, I think, the majority of all the Pixel phones this year. There are things I do miss about the Pixel. A lot that I really liked about it. The Note is, I mean, this is a hefty chunk of phone, and the Pixel, while it was big, the Pixel 2 XL was still like was still just kind of, it felt light, it felt easy to use. Why not buy an expensive red camera, man? If I, I'm not enough of a camera geek to even be able to really appreciate those red cameras, uh, and I don't make enough money to buy one either. So, but yeah, I did 4K video for a while on the channel, but I found that it took longer to do the videos and to render them out and get them put up, and I didn't feel like it was making a huge difference to be in 4K compared to 1080p. So I went back. I got another Canon camera. Canon T6i is the camera that I shoot most of my YouTube videos on, and the Lumix, the the SD card reader stopped working, and so now I just use it as a really expensive webcam for when I do live streams. Yeah, Google did buy HTC, or at least some kind of controlling interest or something like that in them. I'm anxious to see what the Note 9 is as well. I mean, I'm I'm way beyond the point of knowing of believing that I'll stick with any phone for more than 3 or 4 months. So, well, that's one reason, Igor. The one reason that I got this Note 8 was because Best Buy was selling them for like $300 off. So, I mean, you had to do the monthly payment thing, but still, the monthly payment on that, as opposed to my iPhone 10, was like nearly half of what I was paying for the iPhone 10. So I figured I'll just get the Note 8, and the new phones will be coming out soon anyway. I Yeah, I don't know what the Note 9 is going to bring us. I hope there's something fun. Um, but so far, I haven't heard anything that's really getting me super excited. So you're digging the OnePlus 6 in the silk white. I like the OnePlus 5T that I had last year. I liked it a lot. Um, I just, a lot of times for me, it's what kind of money do I have on hand? I got the OnePlus 5T uh, from uh, from a company to review, so that's what I could do. But uh, I don't want to talk about money. Money, I'm not very good with it. Uh, the Galaxy X, I don't. That's it's gonna be weird. I mean, we've been seeing stuff about that phone for so long. I don't know what to really expect from it. Yeah, Astro A50 worth it for the PS4. Astro A50 is still probably in that price range, still probably the best headset that you can get. So yeah, I mean, if you've got $300 or you can find one used that's not beat up, they're worth that money. I think that Astro is probably due for a refresh of the A40 and A50, probably around the holiday season this year. I don't have any information to tell me that, but I feel like um these models have been out for a couple of years now, so I think they should be coming out with a refresh sometime soon. Yeah, I go back and forth between Apple and Android. At this point, I kind of like to have both, but that's an expensive proposition. So, I well, Flossie Carter. I mean, I think he's probably making some decent money off of his YouTube channel, and he also he still works. So I don't know what his gig is, but yeah, I like the fact that he gets all of his stuff so that he's not really feeling like he has to be beholden to something. Yeah, the Moto G6 is not gonna suck because it doesn't have NFC. I mean, I, that's kind of crazy. I mean, the Moto G6 is, like you say, it's a mid-range phone, and those Moto mid-range phones are really sweet. So, in fact, I'm gonna buy my son, who's turning 18 next week. I'm gonna buy my son a Moto phone because he's been in a place where he couldn't have a cell phone, but now he's moving out, so he's got to get one. So, are the 2017 MacBook Pros the best MacBook Pros you can buy? Right now, yeah. And I'm gonna get into this in a video sometime here in the next couple of days. I spent the better part of 3 weeks trying to make Windows my go-to platform for all the things that I do, and it hasn't gone well. Um, so yeah, the 2017 it's not a perfect MacBook Pro. I think they went wrong with taking the ports off. I have a 2015 that I use at my work. That's still a really good computer, but in terms of build quality and everything, yeah, 2017 MacBook Pros are really solid, except for the keyboard. But yeah, what makes me right on my opinion about folks? Tech for your needs. I'm not necessarily right. It's my opinion, and like I believe that my opinion has some value to it, but I'm not trying to be right or wrong or any of that kind of thing. I'm just doing I'm just doing like sort of straight up. To me, it's like journalism. I wanna investigate and really look harder at the things that are happening. Like like just people, how they do what they do, why they do what they do. Is it ethical? Is it not? Is it, what is it? If we look at it a little bit more closely, then we might have a chance to actually maintain a community of tech YouTubers. Whereas, like, if people just keep growing and they keep getting more and more sort of out there and lose touch with their audience, and the audience sort of ceases to trust them as much, then that's going to be bad for everybody. So, I Sater, I did like the Surface Book 2. Unfortunately, I got two of them, and both of them had problems. The screen would not reattach effectively to the first one, and then the second one just started randomly shutting down, like just not even like that. Oh, I'm gonna shut down now, just like turning off. And I just wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna wait to see if that was if that was gonna be something bad. It seemed like something bad. So um so I had to let the Surface Book 2 go. So there will be a video explaining all this. Probably if not tomorrow, then before I go to VidCon on Wednesday, I'll get something out. Can you trust anyone? No, you can't trust anyone. I mean, some people are just not trustworthy. um, yeah, guy. I mean, I don't use like my phone to pay for things anyway. So I mean, maybe I should, but I don't know. I never got into doing that. So I hear you. Um, I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Yeah. So I got to be honest. Like I went back to the store today with the second Surface Book that had crapped out, and I was just like, I, there was nothing. There was nothing better than a MacBook Pro. So I had to go 15-inch MacBook Pro again, even though I know I said I was done with Mac. Uh, it's, I mean, here's the thing. I bought this computer this evening. I plugged it in. I downloaded a couple of things, and I was able to start live streaming like right away and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, there is some good there's some good stuff about just the Mac OS. Um, Paul, uh, Roberto's 30-minute review is what I got, and it is worth it. I'll tell you that. Um, yeah, it is worth it. I I I I really feel it is. You'll learn a lot, and that's valuable, and you apply it to your channel, and you'll see improvement. I firmly believe that. Yeah, I did buy the MacBook for the third time. Okay, now I just have to live with it. It is what it is. It's better than what the other things that I tried. Okay, so Viper, which iPhone sells the best? Um, Shoot, man, I don't understand why they're gonna have the three models. I think the 6.1 inch will do better. I think it's like excuse me. I think the 6.1 inch will do better. It'll be cheaper. Um, but you never know with Apple because Apple's a fashion brand as much as anything else. So I like the new I like the new Dell the XPS line as well, but I don't know. They didn't have the new XPS 15. They only had the 2-in-1, and I just had to basically make an exchange at Best Buy. So I didn't I don't I didn't really like the 2-in-1. What's okay, Paul? No problem. Um, I look at it as an investment, one way or the other. You're going to learn a ton, and it's going to help you with your channel. And if that's valuable to you, then you'll get value out of the session. I firmly believe that. Okay. You're having so this is Nival. Is that how you say it? You're having the worst day of your life. Everything that could have gone wrong is going wrong, and you can play one album to cheer you up. Which album would it be? Oh my! It would be a Beatles album. And it would depend on which one would depend on like me flipping through them and deciding which. But probably it would be either Revolver or Magical Mystery Tour, which I know sounds weird, but that's the truth. Yeah, because I've actually been there. Not the worst day of my life or anything, but I was like super burned out and just not having a good week earlier this week, and just started listening to the Beatles and things got better. so so that's always something. Um, Abiju, I like the alphas better than the revolvers. Um, I haven't done a mic comparison between the two. I think they're both on par with one another. So, Sean, Thanks for checking out that video, man. Yeah, so supposedly, I mean, I've been talking to Flossie Carter about coming onto my podcast. We haven't been able to nail down a date yet, but I'm talking to him about doing that, and hopefully like probably sometime in July. Justine has also said she's going to come on the podcast, so I'm excited about that as well. Um, my preference for mechanical keyboard, I that's tough. I like Logitech keyboards in general. Right now, I have the Logitech Craft that I still have to do a review on, and I've been using that for a while. And that is probably the nicest productivity keyboard I've ever used. It just the typing is so nice. Now, gaming wise, um, I had the Logitech G13 Carbon, and really like that. I don't need a whole lot of macro buttons or anything like that. Have I ever had to refilm a video 2.5 hours before it goes? Man, I've filmed the same video like 4 or 5 times, and then put it up. It's you're always gonna have some kind of mistake. It's gonna happen sometime. You just have to deal with it. Um, and don't let it drag you down. You know, just get in front of the camera, do it again. The nice thing is you already know what you're gonna say, so you'll probably do it better the second time. Um, my daily driver right now, Cameron, is the Note 8. Yeah, I just seen, she left a comment on the Can You Trust video that I did about her, and then she followed me on Twitter, and so I sent her a message and asked her if she wanted to do it, and she said, yeah, probably sometime in July. Um, I know she's going to be at VidCon, so I'll ask her about it again if I see her at VidCon this week. So, just because that's, why wouldn't I see Justine at VidCon, right? Yeah, Logitech is is the best third party manufacturer of keyboards and other peripherals for my money. I have a Logitech like TrackMan little, like, the one with the marble ball in it. I've had that I use it for audio production a lot. I've had it for 20 years or more, and it still works great. Uh, been here since Kayvon. Thanks, man. Yeah, 49,000. It seems like it's so. I still get kind of. It still seems kind of weird to me that I have a lot of subscribers. I'd like the Corsair. My daughter uses a Corsair keyboard. I like that. Steel Series makes some nice keyboards as well. I just always seem to go back to Logitech. Uh, Pepsi or Coke? Coke. Those Alienware laptop keyboards are very sweet. Yes. Favorite video game? The Last of Us, or Last of Us. I guess there's another the. Yeah. By far. I mean, there's a lot of games that I've played over the years that I really liked. Pac-Man, all the way up through. I didn't really do Nintendo until later, but Last of Us is my favorite video game. And I watched the 12 minutes of new gameplay, and I was like, "Oh my god. My life is going to end when that video game comes out." I'm just gonna have to spend like 2 weeks live streaming that game if I want to have any YouTube content whatsoever. Hector, it's good to see you. I've been good. This past week was a little stressful. We're getting ready to move to a different house, and I'm getting ready to go to VidCon and all that kind of stuff, but it's been good. Favorite pizza? Um, I'm a pizza omnivore, really. I will eat just about any pizza. Um, like tonight, I'm not. I got some Domino's and just chowed down on that. But I'll go out and get like fancy pizzas too. But usually just pepperoni, maybe some mushrooms, onions, extra sauce, extra cheese. I'm good. I bet Doom is really good with the 1080 for sure. I I've never been a COD guy, diesel mechanic. Never been a COD guy. Um, so I'm a Battlefield guy. So I'm anxious to see Black Ops 4. I don't know if I'll get it to play it, but I'm anxious to see it when it comes out. Steel Series Arctis 3 are good. Yes. The nice thing about those Arctis series, Steel Series uh, headsets is that the 3, the 5, the 7 all use the same ear cup, like driver, everything else. And it's just added features as you go up the line, but it's all the same mechanics in the what you're hearing. Yeah, I'm a very egalitarian pizza omnivore. I will eat pizza. I look if I wasn't married, even at 46 years old, like I would eat pizza every day. Um, I still have the palate of a 12-year-old. So, PlayStation. I have Xbox One X. I have an Xbox One S, and I have the PlayStation 4 Pro. But I've been a PlayStation guy since PlayStation 1. So, uh, so if you want to, why did you retract your message, Nival? Teach your son. If you want him to be able to learn to play more instruments, teach him piano first. That's my advice. Uh, I don't. I haven't gotten on this Warrior. I haven't gotten on the Switch bandwagon yet. I need to get a Switch. I haven't gotten one yet. Um, and Pokemon was one of those things that happened. Like I was no longer. I was probably like in college when Pokemon happened, so I just kind of missed it from the beginning. New York Pizza is the best, Mr. NYC 220. I I can't disagree with you there, and it doesn't really matter where you get it from. It's all got this special quality to it. I think Elon Musk is probably like some kind of crazy. We're never gonna. He's one of those. He's like Einstein. It's like once in a generation kind of people, and Tesla and SpaceX are uh, impressive ventures. He's at the edge of. I mean, he's pushing the envelope of what he's trying to do. So I know it's not healthy. I know it's not healthy, but you know, I try and exercise sometimes. Naval, as you, so if you want your son to learn to play an instrument, I mean, I started playing guitar, and now I play a bunch of. I've learned over the years to play a bunch of stuff. Um, if I had it to do again, and if in a knowing that I wanted to be a musician and to be able to learn a lot of different instruments, um, I I would wish I would have learned piano first because piano is a great way. You get the basis for everything, and you can just sort of branch out from there. But I would say uh, get it, have him play an instrument that he wants to play. GameCube. I miss the game. I miss the GameCube. Oh, Steinway upright. That's pretty slick. That's pretty slick. That's an instrument that I would like to get for my house one of these days. So so you can participate in a live cooking demo on the Switch. That's pretty cool. Favorite sport slash team. So probably college football and the West Virginia Mountaineers, because I grew up in Morgantown and I've followed the Mountaineers since I think the first Mountaineers game I went to I was like 4 or 5 years old. Um, I follow basketball too, professional sports teams, New York Yankees, Pittsburgh Steelers. So uh, that one is Gibson SG with P90 pickups in it. It is my spirit guitar. I love that guitar. Hey, no problem. Piano's a great place to start. Like I said, I wish I would have started there, but I wanted to be a rock and roll star, and so um so I got a guitar when I was 5. I do have a couple of headphone amps. I don't have anything super fancy. I have a Fio little portable thing. It was called when I bought it. It was called the Kilimanjaro 2. I think now it's called something else now, but it's still pretty much the same thing. Uh, I mean, the DAC that I have is the audio interface that I use. I have a 22 channel Soundcraft mixing board that I use as an audio interface. So that is a DAC, but I don't have any specialized like headphone DACs. Uh, Patrick, so what do I think about American based versus foreign based companies? I don't know. I think that in some ways, if, non-American companies have out companied American companies. But I think that there are still some American companies that do great things. So, how's that for a non-answer? A cheeseburger. Oh, okay. That sounds cool. That sounds good. Favorite pedal? Um, I think I'd have to say, wait, what is it called? What is it called? So I only use two pedals. One is um, one is a flashback delay, so it has a lot of different delays in it, and an Ibanez tube screamer that has like three different circuits in it. That's all I used. I'm not a big pedal guy. Which guitarist was my inspiration? Well, John Lennon was pretty much my guy from when I was very young. So, uh, Kayvon, uh, I can do the boogie woogie and the early rock stuff for sure. I don't get sick of talking about music. Honestly, I don't really get to talk about music all that much anymore because all of I don't have my music friends don't live here, so I don't get to talk about music very much anyway. Jimi Hendrix is and well was an unbelievable guitarist. Lately, I've been really appreciating Eddie Van Halen, to tell you the truth. That guy was that guy back in the day was something else. I mean, he probably is now too, but he was doing things that nobody could do. So Taylosive doesn't interact with. Does he? He does live stream still, though, doesn't he, Patrick? Does he not? Does he not engage, or is it just too many people in the chat or something? Hey Joe is a good song. I agree, Mr. NYC. Security camera do I use to secure my equipment? Um, I, I don't I don't really have a security camera. I do have a security system that we got for the house from a company called iSmart Alarm, and we have that. Eric Clapton is another. Yes, Jackson Warman. I do know your dad. Your dad is one of my best friends. So you can tell him I said so. I was in your mom and dad's wedding party, for that matter. I'm totally serious. The inspiration for my YouTube shot was just I had a camera set up and I was just taking a bunch of different shots, making a bunch of different faces, and that was one that came out, and it just seemed to fit the channel. Um, I think the Dark Hell. I think the Alpha is the best headset that HyperX makes. It doesn't have the most features, but it is, I think, the most solid one that they make. I'm not going to say anything about Drew. Well, Patrick, it is one of those things. Like once you get a lot of people in the chat, if this super chats are the way to people to get people to notice, because it pops up there and you see it and it stays there for a while. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people Drew's live streams are pulling in, but I expect since he's close to 100,000 subscribers, he's getting a fair many. So I wouldn't judge him too hard. Success has its consequences, I guess. Santana, yeah, yeah. Carlos Santana is a hell of a guitar player. I Until you just said big plans for Father's Day, I forgot that tomorrow's Father's Day. Um, so obviously I have no big plans. Um, can you trust Carl Conrad, Dave Lee, and your average consumer? Those are all people that are sort of on my mental list for sure. Uh, I'll probably cover at least a couple of them uh, sometime in the next couple. I'm doing the Can You Trust series once a week on Fridays. That's my schedule. Um, so yeah, I'll get to him. Drew, I mean, Drew is his own kind of honest. I know. So I made a video about I made a video in reaction to Drew's Bengate video. So it wasn't necessarily about Drew per se. It was about some things related to his Bengate opinion. The Police, like the English rock band from the 80s? Yeah, I know them. Everybody always asks this, Harry. Harry Peoples. Every time I do a Can You Trust video, there's like half a dozen comments. Can I trust you? And I don't know how to answer that. Uh, so if the new Macs have 6 cores, and they probably will, they're probably going to have that 8650 or whatever, 8650 or 8560 or whatever it is that Intel's got in the laptops right now. Um, it depends. It depends. I don't know that you're going to get like iOS is so well, or Mac OS is so well optimized for what it is, that I don't know that you're going to get a ton of performance that you'll notice with 2 more cores. I don't know that you will. Um, but I mean, I'm sure that if you benchmark it, it will be faster. But it's hard to say that it'll be something you notice in day-to-day existence. Yeah, tomorrow, Assad, is Father's Day. So, in case you need to wake up early and go run get a gift or something. Um, Patrick, thanks. Yeah, I'm still trying to upload at least like 5 or so times a week. It's really hard to upload on that schedule. For the longest I've been able to do it is like 6 to almost 8 weeks, and then you just start to my brain just starts to come out my ears. So, but yeah, I love hanging with John. I love hanging with Roberto. I mean, those guys are super awesome. I love that I've been able to become friends with those guys, because I mean Roberto is somebody who I've watched for years, and John, is just super cool guy, and yeah, I really it's it's kind of funny to now be in a position where I do know and have relationships with YouTubers that I watched when I wasn't any nobody had ever heard of me. So, do I like Steve Vai? He did some cool solos in that Ralph Macchio movie, Crossroads. Thank you, Manuel. Manuel? Yeah. Thanks for the Father's Day wish. Um, am I going to church tomorrow? Uh, no, no, I'm not. I haven't watched very many Canupsi videos, or Canuspi, or however you say his name. I've watched a couple. They haven't really impressed me as like something different than what a lot of other people do, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to watch more. Mr. NYC, thanks for the happy Father's Day. I we have 3 dogs and a cat right now. We did have 3 dogs and 2 cats. One of the cats got old and had to put him to sleep. It's only midnight on the East Coast, Paul. It's only 11 o'clock for me here out in the Midwest. So, but yeah. It's noon tomorrow yeah, I guess it is noon tomorrow in Hong Kong. So there you go. Can you trust Pocket now? I mean, Jaime Rivera seems like a really good guy. It's hard to say like I, Pocket now is just Jaime Rivera as far as I know. Am I right? So I don't know Albert Ammons, Kayvon. Not to tell me who, like, what he's all about. Patrick, I work. I'm a I'm a writer, and I teach creative writing and do some other administrative type things. I'm the director of the Writing and Humanities program at a Midwestern uh, Big Ten University College of Medicine. Um, it's hard to say when I mean, I know what number I need to see that would make it make sense for me to not work my job anymore. But the thing is, at a certain point, it'll get to the place where YouTube is demanding more of my time, um, and I wouldn't be able to do as good a job as I wanted to at my day job. But I really like my day job. I love teaching. I love working with students. So I do live in Iowa City. Yeah, so I guess you could figure out what Big Ten University I'm talking about if you know that I live in Iowa City. I'm not questioning big YouTubers when I do the Can You Trust series, Tech for Your Needs. I just basically, well, maybe I am questioning. I'm questioning the fact, like, whether or not why the questions aren't being asked. Like I said before, I like to just explore and really think about how people do what they do. What's the value of it? And is it positive or negative, or good or bad or whatever. I mean, I can. That's something I can do. Uh, Big YouTubers are not like, you know, anointed saints or anything, so I think I'm allowed to question them. I haven't seen his Vivo Next video. I have to check that out. The Vivo Next does look pretty slick, though. I think I'm gonna put together a video on that early, sometime early in the week as well. So War Robots with Mike. I I want to do game streaming stuff. I I used to play games like when my channel wasn't as big as it is now. I would play games like at least 2 3 times a week. Um, and I did stream a little bit. I just never like now. I don't have like by the time I get done with the YouTube stuff that I'm doing, I'm just like totally ready to go to sleep. So but when Last of Us 2 comes out, probably the only thing you'll see from me is Last of Us 2 gameplay for at least a couple of weeks. Um, I'll have to check. Okay, so yeah, I'll have to check out Albert Ammons. I will. Yeah, I'm at University of Iowa. That's right. So you're in Iowa City? Cool, man. We're neighbors. Who have I found not to be trustworthy? It's funny because I don't think I would say that even people that I've been somewhat negative about are not completely trustworthy. There are just certain things that they do that I think don't that doesn't. I guess they're just, Jonathan Morrison. I did a pretty negative video on, and mostly because I felt like a lot of his content has become sort of sponsored and very slick, and and to me that doesn't feel like it comes from a totally authentic place. So, why not do small YouTubers? Smaller YouTubers. I will. I mean, I'm trying to. The whole idea at this point is to build the series into an appointment kind of viewing thing for people. Um, so people know it's coming. They know when it's coming. I'll have more. I'll be able to cover more people of different sizes, et cetera, et cetera. Um, when it becomes a little bit more sort of solid and well known. I'm working my way to smaller YouTubers though. Um, do I think Apple fans in the past hate Apple now? A lot of them do. Yes. Um, yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I've been an Apple fan for a long time, and there's a lot that I don't like about the current state of Apple. So, uh, can you trust your Nick Ackerman? Yeah. I've seen some of his videos. He's somebody that I could look at for sure. Jouton, it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I haven't played Marvel Contest of Champions. I think I downloaded it once. I'm not a mobile gaming guy though. I never play games on my phone. It, I'm gaining. One thing that I think would frighten me as a gamer is if I got a lot of success playing just one game. Like, could you move and do something else? It's not just that. It's not just that all YouTubers do sponsored videos. Um, you can. That's doing sponsored videos is part of being a YouTuber, in the sense that like you can't make a living on AdSense, and so you have to find a lot of different ways to bring in revenue. So there are ways to responsibly do sponsored content. Mr. Mobile, somebody that I talked about, I just put out that video yesterday. His he sells sponsorships for his videos, but they're never related to the content of the video. So, something will be sponsored by, D brand or whatever. But he won't be reviewing anything that's related to that. And I think that's completely cool. What edgy question did you ask me, Warrior? So I've heard people say that MKBHD is in the tank for certain things because he's being paid. I don't know. I mean, I don't see the upside to that for the company or for the but I can't Slava have a good sleep. But I've heard people say that a lot, but I haven't seen any evidence to support it. Um, Linus's thing, like, he sort of does the Mr. Mobile thing as well, but he can be just kind of annoying about it. Like, his ad reads are just kind of sarcastic and sort of annoying. But yeah, can you trust John Prosser? You certainly can, without a doubt. Trust John Prosser. My voice is too relaxing for me to chat. Oh boy, I'm glad that it's relaxing. Thank you, Malika. I have considered writing for tech, like a tech news outlet or company or something like that. I think at this point in my life, though, like, I don't want to work for other people. Um, so it's not something I'd be super interested in. I don't want to have a boss. I don't do well with bosses. And of course I have a boss at my current job, but I run my program, so I don't have a ton of like somebody looking over my shoulder. Um, so yeah, I like writing for sure. If somebody was going to pay me to write something for their stuff, then I would. So War Robots. I'm using the Note 8 right now. My wife has a Pixel 2 XL, and my daughter has an iPhone 6s. Um, Daughter's going to be in line for a new phone sometime soon. Um, Patrick, I think that FPT, yeah, John is just sort of, he and Drew have this interplay between one another. Um, so can you trust drug dealers? Um, I would say no, just because they're drug dealers. But yeah, I mean, no, it can't be just a blanket no. Maybe you can trust some of them. So okay, tech for your needs. Sorry for the hard questions. Can you trust what? Why I started with? Okay, so why did I start with bigger YouTubers? Like, honestly, like, I figured if I started doing videos that asked those questions about really well-known YouTubers, that it would get people to pay attention. Um, and I figured that would, the bigger the YouTuber, the better, the bigger the stakes. The bigger the stakes, the more people are going to pay attention, and so down the line, I'll have a bigger audience to watch videos that cover folks that maybe they don't know as much about. So that's does that make sense? Well, Linus seems like a pretty cool guy. After me, of course. But so, Paul, what are you deleting things for? Well, I mean, if there was a beef jerky company out there that wanted to sponsor my channel, I would take that in a second. I'm a big jerky fan. So, um, so yeah. Did I have a job when I went to college? Man, I've had so many jobs. I I I've done just about every job that there is to do. I sold vacuum cleaners for a while. Malika, my website is a placeholder because I don't have time. I don't have time to make a real one. Um, it's the thing that I keep saying I need to get to that I don't get to. So Motorola makes good phones, Chad. Um, so that might be a place to go. I did like the Pixel 2 XL. It's a little pricey, but I did really enjoy that phone. Thanks, D. I like to think that my logic is sound sometimes. Um, future VR and AR gaming. It has to find. They have to find their killer app first. I think AR has more of a future in just our everyday lives. Uh, that's where AR is going to become something that we use frequently, and maybe the gaming will sort of come off of that. Um, but right now it's VR is struggling. Jouton, thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate it. I will try to never change, uh, but I can't guarantee anything. Um, actually, I'm old and set in my ways, so probably I won't. Do I think I'll stick with the Can You Trust series because of the views? Is it really what you're doing, or it is really what I it is something that I like to do. Um, I want to have a conversation about the people who are in the tech community, and nobody was having that conversation. Nobody was really looking at anybody and sort of asking questions. And I figure if you don't ask questions, then eventually something is gonna it's gonna be bad for everybody. So I'm kind of trying to be the conscience of um, this sounds ridiculous, but the conscience of the tech YouTube community by asking these questions. Um, Jack Links for life, absolutely, man. My stomach feels greasy just thinking about it. Can you trust payday advance places? No. Can you trust used car dealerships? Sometimes. Uh, Restaurant kitchen staff? Uh, Depends on the restaurant. Can you trust Bose? Uh, no. No, not current Bose. Old Bose? Yes. You ran out of space and duplicated everything? Yeah, okay. Ben, Malako, thank you very much. I I will definitely holler because I do want to get the website thing going. Um, so you may hear from me. I know it's Paul. I've made several websites in the past. I I don't know. It gives me headaches. So and I a part of it too is that I don't know like what my value add would be on my website over my YouTube channel and my social media stuff. I feel like there has to be a something that would push people toward the website as a destination, and I just don't know. what that would be right now. I know that I don't have enough time to create new or different content for that. So I've just been kind of like thinking and not very hard. Yeah, OnePlus is a good phone, tech for your needs, or a good company. Yeah, they do, and they make good stuff for a good price. So that would be something to think about. 300,000 files to organize. Ugh. Patreon. I do have Patreon. You can find me at patreon.com, painfully honest, / painfully honest tech. I haven't been able to do a ton. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to add value to the Patreon as well. Um, it's so much work to put out this content that I don't I don't want. I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing everything that I could do. Um, and I don't have $700 to drop on the HomePods right now. Um, so I would love to do a stereo HomePod review. I just don't have the money to drop on two of those things right now. I don't know Talon Say, Jouton. I'll have to check him out. I Warrior. I might have just missed your comment. I don't know that I saw anything too edgy. You asked me if I was going to church tomorrow. I said no. Yeah, one HomePod. Yeah, I the HomePod sounds really good. Don't get me wrong. My problems with the HomePod were many, but none of them were sound related. It was price, the fact that it was crippled at launch. Um, there were lots of things that I had problems with, but the sound quality was not one of them. Top five Bluetooth headphones, audiophile approved. Man, I haven't really gotten into I haven't gotten into the most recent crop of Bluetooth headphones. I mean, Bowers and Wilkins makes a really good wireless Bluetooth audiophile headphone. The Sony MDR X Mark II, 1000X Mark II. Yeah, the 1000X Mark II. Those are really good. I had the Mark One, and I loved them. Uh, for noise canceling headphones, the Bose Quiet Comfort, the QC35s sound really good. Um, but yeah, I don't know that Sennheiser makes some Bluetooth headphones that I haven't tried. There are a lot of new headphones out there that I haven't tried yet. Um, but if I were going to go out and buy some tomorrow, I mean, even the Beats uh, Studio 3 wireless sound really good. I, there was a time when Beats were awful, and they are no longer that awful. So Google Max is the HomiePod. I don't know what that means. Max Yuriev would be a good one too. I mean, I do watch a lot of his videos. The Beat Studio wireless hurt the top of your head. That can be a problem. I've had that happen with several sets of headphones. 1 million files. Where do you guys get these files? I don't understand. Uh, I plan on doing a Can You Trust Mobile Tech review. I think Lisa is like an unsung hero of YouTube. I don't think she gets nearly the credit that she deserves for what she does. Tech Free needs thanks. I mean, I'm trying to get stuff out there as much as I can. I mean, that's the way to that's the way to keep growing once you're there. I mean, you do have to be thoughtful and intentional about like what you're putting out, and I think I've gotten better about that. And that helps. I don't want to organize your files. I can't organize any files. Can you trust the NBA refs? I would say probably not. Um, Ever since Dick Bavetta retired, it's all gone downhill. Yeah, Lisa does a really good job of just running through and breaking down the pros and cons of the products that she talks about. I mean, there's nothing flashy or fancy about it whatsoever, but she's really good at what she does. Favorite phone of 2018 so far? Hmm. Let's see. Well, I mean, we've had the S9 and S9 Plus, the G7, the OnePlus 6. Hmm. I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried the OnePlus 6. I know I would like it if I had it. Um, the S9 and S9 Plus are just kind of like, they're the next version of the S phones. And they're not, but there's nothing super exciting about them. Uh, the Vivo Nex is something that I'm very interested in, but I need to try and see if I can get one of those. Excuse me. Uh, I hope that Google is able to do something solid with the Pixel phones this year. I think they have a chance to grab some market share if they make a great phone. Um, but it remains to be seen if they actually are able to do that. Um, the 2XL would have been a home run phone if not for the screen. Yeah, Jouton, I've had two iPhone 10s. I think I'm on my third Note 8. I had the 8 Plus. I had the 9 and the 9 Plus. Uh, the product red iPhone 8 is sexy though. Patrick, good to talk to you. Have a fine sleep. Uh, I know a lot of people are down on the notch, and I don't think the notch is like the greatest thing in the world. I just think that it's kind of a necessary compromise right now. Man, what what do you mean bloopers? Everything that I do just comes out like perfectly. I never have to edit anything. So how would I put bloopers that don't exist on my Patreon channel? I Miguel, which Comic Con are you talking about? I haven't been to a Comic Con in a while. When I was in New York, I'd like to go, but I haven't been for a while. I Tyler, I haven't. I know that Sonos announced the Beam. I have not had a chance to really look at it to see what it's all about. Um, $400 for a Sonos device is in the mid range of what they charge, so it might be. I tell you what, I'll check it out, and I will come back and have an opinion. That camera module is for the Vivo is a little yeah, that's a point of failure. It's a potential point of failure. Okay, I agree with you. All right, Paul, go to sleep. well, you're going to Colorado to smoke weed. I'm not. So I just thought you wanted to tell people that you were going to Colorado to smoke weed. Um, I thought it was more of an announcement than a question. I think some people do keep their phones for 2 years. I think a lot of normal people do. but but yeah, I don't even know what normal is anymore. Um, it's real, like that's the hard thing. Like I really do wish that I could have one device and I could just keep it and I could use it and all my stuff would be there and it would be like totally, like a warm pair of slippers. But I'm always changing and um that really messes up my whole vantage point. Yeah, so this Vivo next phone is coming out with zero bezel and a front facing camera, and it doesn't even have a speaker. I'm really interested to know how this audio technology that they're using is going to work. Uh, so if Apple keeps going, I don't know. Maybe Apple is fucking us. Apple has been known to do that, but but they I think they should be feeling like, oh, if this next phone is the real deal, then they're gonna have to we're gonna have to figure out a way to unnotch themselves. Can you trust Rene Ritchie? I like Rene Ritchie. I mean, he's been around for a long time, and I like a lot of what he has to say. So I haven't really assessed his trustworthiness, though. So maybe I'll have to put him on my list. You have as many phones as you have alts on World of Warcraft. I assume that's a lot. Um, I do not have a lot of alts on World of Warcraft. I only have one. I have like three characters, and I don't play ever, so because I'm busy doing YouTube. Yeah, Tyler, I agree. Apple has the pressure on Apple from outside has become has become more intense, and Apple has been making some poor decisions themselves. So they're gonna have to. I think Johnny Ive coming back as like the head of creative design or whatever his title is now, and being involved in the day to day working of the Apple design is hopefully going to pay off. Um, because he's been the guy who really has come up with. He came up with the iMac when he was like 19 years old or something. So I'm hoping that that is a step in the right direction for them. Siri is not good. Yeah, it's true. I don't know, man. If you're addicted to buying cases for your phones, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I will tell you that you can only use one at a time. So, but maybe if you have one for every occasion, it's good as well. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Apple's security stuff and the hardware software integration is super solid. And Samsung, Android and Windows both have issues with that. Apple has not been the same without Steve Jobs. I will agree with you on that. And I'm hoping that it's not. I mean, if it's really that Steve Jobs is no longer around and that they've been just on this gradual downward slope since then, That doesn't speak well for like the future of the company. Um, I mean, but you can look at some in some areas. You look at Apple, and it's like, oh, they are the $300 billion company, so they must be doing something right. But I think the people who are really paying attention, who really have followed the company, can see the cracks. I really liked Windows Phone too. Um, I have a feeling that Microsoft will come back with some sort of Surface phone. I see that coming at some point. I'm not moving far, Patrick. I'm moving like literally four houses down the road. Um, we're downsizing to a slightly smaller house. Can you trust Board at work? I would say yeah. Yeah, I like his stuff a lot. He's always been solid. Does really good headphone stuff. Nokia Surface phone would be pretty slick. Yes, I agree. I tried a life-proof case once, Chad, and it was just way too. It was like, I mean, OtterBox cases are huge, but the life-proof was like a different kind of huge. And now that all phones are like water resistant, I don't know what the life-proof case has to offer. I don't know what that question means, Scott. Do I know any amputees? Um, I don't personally that I recall, and but if I know you, like, okay, I don't know. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. It's getting late. It's not a question that I would expect to be asked. Yeah, I mean, right now on my Note 8, I have this Spigen case, probably like less than 20 bucks on Amazon. It fits pretty well. It feels good. Um, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Scott. Now it makes sense. I understand now. I'm sorry to hear that. 1,302,252 files. I have not tried the Philips 9500s, but I have heard really good things about them. Uh, they they're in my Amazon wish list. I just haven't gotten to them yet. Geez, man, flesh eating bacteria. That's terrible. That's terrible. Um, yeah, speaking cases are really pretty good for the price. Some better than others. This is, I think, the Tough Armor that I've got on here, and it's got a little kickstand. The kickstand isn't worth crap, um, but yeah, this Tough Armor case, it's not super bulky, but it does feel like nicely protective. So I I would love to go bareback with my phones, but just like, I don't know, too nervous because these phones look so good. But the Superlux 666 are really nice though. I still have mine, and use them quite frequently. They're around here somewhere. Yeah, I actually had that Mophie product red case as well. I found that it was a little too big for my taste. Um, see, I like the idea of the commuter case. One thing I don't like about the OtterBox cases though is the plastic that they use is very slippery, and I wish that I wish that it wasn't. I wish that it was more of a, like a grippy type thing. Um, I don't I don't know if Android could show the battery level for the AirPods. I think that might be something that's specifically baked into how the AirPods talk to Apple devices. Um, so, which, I mean, I don't know if that's them preventing it, or if it's just them, like, they were designed specifically for Apple devices, and so that's a feature they could have. But AirPods work fine with any kind of Android phone. They just don't have all of the features that they have with Apple stuff. Well, you're right, tech genius. I mean, waterproof phones are not a thing, but water resistant. Yeah, OtterBox. I hear you, Jouton. I hear you. I want to see it. Like, OtterBox has made some changes and come out with some different kinds of cases, like the symmetry cases that they've been using, or they've released in the past few years. Those are cool, but again, like, I don't know, they they're not grippy in my experience. So yeah, the Defender is a serious case. Um, if I were if I were somebody who, like, I knew that I was going to keep my phone for several years, um, I would be like, okay, I'm just gonna go for something like super extreme like that. But I'm I don't keep my phones for that long. Morrow, I haven't heard the K712s. The 7XX though, they do sound really good. They do sound really good. Um, it had been a long time since I had listened to any AKG headphones, and forgot how nice and sort of smooth they are. Yeah, a lot of people who work out, in construction and other kinds of fields like that definitely use those super cases. Yeah, I like the look of some of the Urban Armor cases. Sometimes I don't like a lot of logos on my stuff, and it seems like their logos are kind of prominent. Oh, which is better, the DT770 Pro 250 ohm? The K7XX is going to be a more versatile headphone because it only takes like 60 ohms to drive it. It's only, yeah, it's a 60 ohm, 62 ohms, I think. So more things are going to drive it. But those Bear Dynamics are really nice as well. I had those at one point, um, and I don't know. They sounded great, but I didn't like them as much. But I kind of want to go back and get another pair. So I want to try the G7, Charles. I have not seen the G7. Like, I went to the Verizon store at least just to hopefully check it out or something, and they didn't even have it in, like, as a display. So I don't know what's going on there. I haven't watched very Vishnu. I have not watched very many Indian tech YouTubers. Maybe a few here and there, but they don't come up in my suggested all that often. But I know that there are tons, and very popular as well. Yeah, I have the Yamaha HS8s are the monitors that I use in my studio. Yes, Harman Kardon does own AKG. Um, my board right here for my studio is a Soundcraft, also owned by Harman. Monaco, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, the G7. It's curious to me that LG can't get any traction with a phone that has that kind of feature set. Um, I don't know why they can't get traction there. But they seem to struggle. And now that at least the G6 and was in the store, I could go look at it. So I don't know. What's Somebody asked earlier? What's the longest since I've become a YouTuber that I've kept a phone? I don't know, man. Probably 6 months. Probably 6 months, and that was a while ago. Because I didn't do phone reviews. Like I started out doing mostly like audio related review stuff. Um, and I just started in the past couple of years covering phones. And in the past couple of years, it's probably been 6 months or less that I've kept any phone. Yeah, I think what happened with the G6 not getting the 835 was Samsung had like basically ordered all of the 835s that could be manufactured in that time frame, and so LG was kind of SOL. Um, that at least that's the story that I've heard. But the G6 was a solid phone. Everybody that I didn't personally use it. I tried the V30 and loved that phone. But everybody that I know that used the V6 or the G6 thought it was a solid phone. I just don't understand. LG has not found a hook into the market yet. I love the DACs that they put in there. Like the G7 has the same DAC as the V30, and that's the best sounding anything that I've plugged a headphone in. That's a mobile device by far. It didn't have so the G6 didn't have enough storage. Didn't it? Does it not have expandable storage? I guess I don't remember. Uh, I have, like I say, I have a FIO headphone amp that I use sometimes, and I just carry it around I uh, in case I need something. Like actually, those AKG 7XXs that I did the review on, they sound amazing with just that little bit of a boost that a clean amp like the FIO will give them. They sound really really good. Vishnu. I Dave 2D is somebody that I watch pretty frequently, and he's on my list of folks that I'd like to cover in that series for sure. Uh, it's like a tiny little black metal thing. It just has like one little knob on it, and it sounds really good. Um, I've done a couple of things about guitars on the channel over the years, and but not as a regular rule. I I don't know. Music is like has been the biggest thing in my life for most of my life, and for some reason, like I don't do anything with music on YouTube. But yeah, yeah, I haven't watched his. Somebody else was mentioning that Dave 2D video. I got to check that out. J45 is a beautiful guitar, my friend. The the J45 is so nice, and the 339 as well. Those are both amazing guitars. Uh, I had a Gibson J15, which is like it's the same scale and size and build as the J45, but not the price. But yeah, J45 is probably one of my like bucket list guitars. But right now, like over here, I have a Martin D15 that I've had for 20 something years, and then I've got this SG that I got last year, and They they are suiting my needs for the moment. Those Rickenbacker bases are incredibly huge and cumbersome, though. They're not very easy. They're not balanced well. Algorithm Nation, what do you want to find? My music? It's on all the streaming services. You can look for Star City was the band that I had in New York, and Sad Iron Music, and you could they're on all the streaming services. So yeah, Algorithm Nation, the J45s are amazing guitars. Hollow, you can always start again, man. There's no expiration date. All you got to do is dust it off. Charles, I am right there with you. Basically, I don't. My wife, our phone bill, it's all crazy. It's all crazy talk. I haven't. I don't think I've ever, Mike. I don't think I've ever used a Xiaomi phone. I can't. No, I don't think I have. I've used Huawei's, but not Xiaomi. Um, I think some people are hardcore um about stock Android just because like, like Samsung and other companies have put such heavy skins that have really kind of bogged down the operating system on their phones that using something like a Pixel phone or the Nexus phones before that was just really kind of like oh, it can feel so snappy and quick and light and airy. I don't know, man. Driving driving with Flossie Carter sounds like it could be kind of a fun thing. Um, yeah. Where do you get over 100 miles an hour in New York though? Have to find a long stretch of not too crowded road. Yeah, I hate the fact that I can't try the a lot of these other phones with my Verizon account. If I want to try a phone that isn't that won't take that Verizon won't take, I go to AT&T and T and I get like a prepaid SIM, and I use that. So yeah, Charles, that's the kind of sacrifice you got to make. It's the Apple of Android. What is that? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Scott, it's funny. There's not a T-Mobile store within 3 hours of where I live. It's it's crazy. I don't understand why. There used to be one, but there's not anymore. But then again, now I guess like the Sprint store is a T-Mobile store. I don't know. Yeah, I guess if you get on the Van Wyck at the right time, yes, you could do 100. Yeah, the One Plus 6. Um, like I say, I when I had my 5T, I just went and I got a prepaid SIM and I forwarded my number from my Verizon phone so I could use that as my exclusive. And well, guys, it's coming on 2 hours for this live stream, and and then probably an hour or so on the FPT live stream as well. So I'm getting kind of tired. It's almost midnight for me. I want to be rested for all the things that I don't think my family has planned for me on Father's Day. Um, but I will say, Voris, the thing that caught my eye at E3 was Last of Us 2. I I didn't even like that was I'm that Last of Us was my favorite game, and yeah, the Last of Us 2 gameplay that we saw just completely blew my mind. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the Father's Day wishes, and I will check all of you out again soon. I'll have at least a couple of videos coming out before I leave to go to VidCon on Wednesday. I'll be putting some stuff up, VidCon related, probably while I'm there. Try and catch John Prosser doing something he shouldn't be doing, maybe. I don't know. But you guys all have a good night, and thanks for sticking around. It's been fun talking to y'all. All right. Till next time, I'm out.